Hey guys, and welcome back to Will It Work. Today I'm going to be trying out one of my own brews. It's a green yellow flyers utilising Faeries now that Groundshaker has been nerfed, and I'm hoping this deck can take some wins on the ladder. And just the whole game plan is using the flying value, using the mobility to get around the board. And you have these emissaries, which are 5 frees for free Faeria, which is great value. And the deck's still kind of undergoing experimentation. There's a few slots I'm not sure about. I kind of feel like I could get a Colossus or 2 in there, considering all the events. There's a lot of power-ups. There's a lot of big creatures in the emissaries for cheap. Same with the Faeries as well. If you can get them to turn, they're very cheap creatures for the power you get out of them. And that's the whole plan of the deck. You just kind of maneuver around the board, cause a bit of trouble, and eventually you can just go in for their orb, pushing lots of damage with those power-ups. So let's get into the matches and see how this deck performs. Alright guys, into our first match here. I really like to start yellow with this deck. So I'm going to keep the Fairy, but I'm just going to throw these 2 away. It's not too bad actually. If we can keep the Fairy alive, get to turn, we'll be able to zip around the board, collect Faeria and cause some trouble. Now I am playing in casual today. I've been playing on ladder recently and I can't really experiment that well because it's just so much red combat at the moment. It's very difficult to play a deck like Faeries. I'm hoping once the season resets, players are going to be a bit more willing to experiment with some of the new changes we've had, rather than just going back to the old tried and tested. Right, no spiders. Be good to me. Be nice to me, Green. You don't eat a fairy spider. Not good for you. Not good for you. Looks like a piece of candy. I'm thinking of a forest here, and just to pass, and I do get the turn. That's really good. It's going to allow me to be Mr. Mobile. Could even just move here if I wanted. I'm going to take a forest. Now the forest is going to allow us to power up the Sunsilk Fairy. So if say a Grove Guardian came down, I could go like Guidance into, or I could go like Empress Command. A Soul Drain, I can get a Guidance down. I have a few options in hand, as long as this doesn't get eaten by a spider. If it doesn't get eaten by a spider, I should be okay. There's lots of forests coming down from my opponent here, but not much in terms of play. Just wondering if the hand's quite slow. Maybe a couple of like Thorian Golems and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess we'll just go in. I don't mind powering up actually, just because my opponent has been playing very slow so far. So got another Fairy as well, the Flower Silk Fairy. Just gonna wait here for the power up, go up to a 2/5 with charge, so I can go back to double collection if need be. Or I can just take the power and go in, push 8 damage. It's crazy, it's just pass. Well, I have no reason not to go to the orb at the moment. But I just have lethal. Lethal just with this Fairy. 18 Faeria, 5 forests. What is going on? What can I see now from my opponent that will completely change the game? I have a Nightmare in hand, so a taunt. He's gonna need 2 taunts to keep me at bay. Oh. Oh, okay. Here we go, guys. Boom, 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 boom. And off they go, all the forests. Which means I can't last Nightmare anymore. Tree of Everlife. Grove Guardian. Grove Guardian? Yes. Wow, okay. Can't even play Manta Riders. I've been locked out. No. Oh dear. Okay. This gets to heal in the next production. That's really bad. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be 7 life, right? So it goes up to 13. Have 8 damage push. So I'm only actually dealing 1 damage over the Tree of Everlife right now. That's assuming this lives, which it won't. Alright. So we can Empress Command this one. Let's just clear it out. We'll go for the double soul drain. I'll take care of this one as well. Ah, oh, man, the Tarot messed me up because I don't have enough deserts now. That's really bad. And my positioning for lands is not great. Like, if I could play Manta Riders, not too bad. I get to charge 2. But, yeah, this is difficult. But my opponent is Faeria starved. But another Grove Guardian would be really strong here. Just clears this guy out. Deciding what to do. Oh my goodness. I have 2 cards in hand I can't play. Grove Caller. Interesting. Alright, we're just drawing for power-ups. Just trying to race this down. Because if we draw 2 power-ups, we win. If this doesn't get cleared. There's a big Faeria Golem, which is fine. It's not got taunt. No taunt means no protection. Alright, 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 we're working here. 1 more power up. Oh! How did I get out of that one, guys? Oh my goodness. Okay, if anyone ever builds Forest and does nothing, I just have to assume this Tarot. I forget Tarot even gets played. But yeah, double power up off the top of my deck there. The chances of that happening is very slim, but I did get the victory against this very crazy Tarim deck. Let's get into the next game. Alright guys, another match here. I'm going to throw away the Fairy. I like the Starved Deserts. And I get the Fairy back, because why not? But I kept the Manta Rider, I kept the Choking Sands. It's a little bit of a slow opener. But Manta Rider is so durable and it's such a powerful card. It's great to get in the open hand. I very much like to be able to play it as soon as possible. And we are going first. So we are going to be a turn ahead of our opponents, which is not too bad. Into... Please not mountains. No! The mountain. The axe grinder. The dream is over, guys. You can't even choke in Sans Heralds anymore. What is that all about? So there we go. We're just going to build a Manta Rider on this side. We then have Flash Wind. Can be very good at maneuvering around the board. We do have Choke and Sands for the Brigand. I do not mind playing Choke and Sands on Brigand. It is one fair advantage to my opponent, but the combat advantage that Brigand builds for your opponent with its combat ability is far greater than the one fairy I expend at Choking Sands. And that's going to be the primary target for this deck anyway. If this is just mono red, it's just going to have to Choking Sands these Brigands. Oh, there's Grimguards in this. Okay. Alright, I get something else to Choking Sands. That's pretty good. But let's get our friend the Manta Rider down, and then we can just clear that nice and clean. A 4 Faeria for 4 Faeria. Bargain. Absolute bargain. But now going into the Groundshaker range, which is the big problem with Faeries. Groundshaker is such an easy answer to it, and it can kill multiple Faeries. Like, Cypher's Wrath is also kind of sad, but at least it's just single target, right? It's 2 Faeria, kill the Fairy. Okay, it's 2 Faeria for 2 Faeria, but Groundshaker really hurts this deck. And we see a double neutral coming down into another Axe Grinder. Okay. That's pretty good. We can keep the Manta alive if we go for an Empress command, so we could collect Flashwind here. Emperor's Command this down to a 2-2. And then just finish it off. We do open ourselves up to the Groundshaker, but yeah. It's not a lot I can do about that. It could just be like neutral here. Maybe just double neutral into my mountain. Let's take it. Let's just deal with this problem right now. We also represent the potential of 5 damage going to the orb next turn, so just forcing my opponent to think about things, consider the options. This Axe Grinder can move into double collection soon, but I could set up the Faerie on the follow-up, and then I could pre-buff it with the Runin's Guidance, which is not that great, really. If you're going to pre-buff a Faerie, I ideally want Elderwood Embrace against red, because just a lot more life to deal with. So this will go up to a free 5 with the Elderwood Embrace, and then 5 life is much harder to answer for red. But free, 1 Flame Burst, and that Faerie's gone, and that's actually really good value for the red player, because it's 2 cards for Faeria, and then you lose your creature, and they use 1 card for free Faeria. So top end of value town if they get that off. But sometimes you just have to do it, you know. You just have to say, okay, let's just hope my opponent doesn't have the answer, because I need to get this creature down in order to stabilize. But it's hard to say where I am right now. This is going to move into double collection, so I definitely need to challenge this. Manta Rider, I'm curious to see if Groundshaker just comes down. Horsemaster. Okay. That's pretty good, actually. Just a good blocker. Do you find the Choking Sands? It's even better. Now I can power this up. And then Groundshaker isn't enough. Or I could go for the Faerie and then that plays straight into Groundshaker. So let's just power this guy up. Back up to 3 life. And push for 7. So now this is a 2-turn clock. My opponent has to answer it. Although, in a good position, with the double collector on the left-hand side, lots of Faeria. 3 lands down now, so Groundshaker is online. So it does have the luxury to just draw cards in this position and find that removal. Other than that, it's okay. It very much depends what happens to Manta Rider. Manta Rider could single-handedly win the game for me. It looks like it's going to be another Horsemaster. Yep. Horsemaster. Zip across. Still keeps the double collector and Cypher's Wrath. Cypher's Wrath to finish it off. 1 card left over, 3 Faeria. Now this is fine. I was going to say this is risky because I'm going to go for the Faerie draw. I do get the turn anyway, but no, Soul Drain's just going to finish this off. I'm in a really good position. We have a double collector, and we have the Elderwood Embrace to go with it. Grimguard in this position is pretty good because it does lock me down. Grimguard +1 Gift of Steel is pretty good as well. Groundshaker, not bad. Groundshaker is always a good card. But I can just move and then Elderwood, and then I'll be in position to push more damage on the follow-up. Goes for the draw, okay. So 3 cards in hand, 6 Faeria to work with. I'm curious to see what answers. Groundshaker. Oh, Brigand Gift. Just a Brigand. So if I kill the Brigand, my opponent goes up to 5 Faeria, then 3. So just gains tons of Faeria. Now, what I'm considering instead is going for the double collect. Playing the Elderwood Embrace here. Just making this really big, really hard to deal with. And dropping the Sunsilk Faeria on the right hand side. Because I can kill this, sure, but I don't know, I don't get to do anything else. That's my problem. And my opponent just starts the turn with 8 Faeria. I guess I have to. But then again, if I push this up to 9 life, how does this get answered? I should be able to just move in. Unless it's a taunt or a blocker. No, I'm gonna try this. Cause I'm just not happy with killing this and not collecting because I get to set up another creature. My opponent goes up to 8 Faeria anyway from the double collect. Go up to 10. I guess Garadan could be a problem now, but Garadan is not enough to stop this at least. Cause I can zip here, make an aggressive desert, and then I can go for Emissary, and then I can really just apply pressure. So I'm just ignoring this Brigand. I'm just like, Brigand, I don't want to deal with you right now. You just keep giving back. I don't want to fight a creature who's going to give my opponent resources. That's what it comes down to. I've used both Choking Sands as well, which is unfortunate. And this deck doesn't run Wind Soldiers, which again just gives that refund. Goes to +1. Ogre Battler? What? Okay, I didn't play around the Ogre Battler, but it's absolutely fine because I draw like a god sometimes, even when I'm not a god. Alright. See you later. Let's get that aggressive desert ready for next turn. Potion 8 damage next turn, 1 more power up, and I'm going to be in for lethal. Pretty good. If not, just drop the Emissary, put that 5/3 down and say, can you deal with this as well? Last Nightmare, definitely helping out there. I like having a lot of hard removal in this deck, especially because it's an events deck, because of the Faeries. So getting that extra hard removal can be very helpful against his greedier decks. Like Gemshell's still kicking about. The fact that Mono Red's running an Ogre Battler right now, I don't know if that's just a choice that my opponent has made, but with the nerf to Frogify, of course, cards like Ogre Battler become more powerful. Goes for the draw. Can just play something here. Might see like, can't even do a gift into Horsemaster. Firestorm just killed the Faerie. Alright, so that means the Emissary's not going to get challenged. I am going to draw, because if I draw a power-up, I'd rather just play a power-up. So we're going to get this Emissary down. And the Emissary now sets up lethal, because even if the Faerie was to get killed and the Emissary was to live, I can play another flyer to power it back up and set up that lethal. And this also gives me a good answer to Grimguard. So if a Grimguard comes down, I have that 5 attack, I can take care of that as well. I won't be able to set up lethal with just the Faerie if the Grimguard does come down, but I'm in a very good position. 20 life, you know, really applying the pressure now. So I should be okay. We'll see what our opponent has. Good +1 into Firestorm again. Putting this down to 3, that means Flame Burst will be a good answer to finish it off. On the follow-up turn, perhaps? Goes to the draw, so no Firestorm this time. Is there an answer? It doesn't look like it. I guess Flame Burst, like, just Flame Burst is fine. Just Flame Burst this guy and be taken down to 1. One's not very healthy, but it's something, right? Alright, okay, Bomb Slinger. It's an answer. I respect it. Soul Drain pickup. Ooh, see, I'd like to +1 Faerie, but if I can just draw a power-up, I win. So let's draw. Oh. Okay. Just going to soul drain that. Move onto the mountain, and then take my opponent down to 1 life. So forcing my opponent to build an additional mountain if there needs to be a Grimguard or a Taunt or something like that. I'm just trying to make life a little bit difficult. This Brigand's got a lot of value out of double collecting, but not a lot of value out of the combat mechanic, at least. I could have killed it, I could have taken the slower line, but this pressure is a lot to deal with. Look how difficult a Faeria is for red to deal with. If you can get it down, if you can get it turned, and just get that preemptive power-ups on it, this is a very mobile creature that can prove to just be a nuisance. It's going to be a guard, I think? Crystal Flower! Oh man, really? A Crystal Flower? It's not very nice. Let's get the Manta down. We're just trying to finish the game now. We just keep applying pressure. Flameburst, Cypher's Wrath, the saddest of times. This is what I said about red decks. You know, I don't like playing against red decks. With this build specifically, just because my creatures are very vulnerable to their base removal. Unless I have a power-up, and unless this turns as a 2/5, it's very easy to kill my creatures. The power-ups are very important. So this is thinking about just double collecting, why not? No, it's going aggressive. I guess my opponent's just realized that there's another Crystal Flower, and it's just going to eat up my Manta Ride. I'm just going to have a stack of creatures imprisoned over here. Goes for the heal. Heal Crystal Flowers. All sorts of stuff here. Oh, man. Right, we're going to get Faeria now. So this represents lethal by just playing a flyer, but I also have the Elderwood Embrace in hand. Yeah, Brigand's on a journey. A journey to my face. Is there a Flame Burst? We've seen Bomb Slingers, we've seen Firestorms, Ogre Battlers. There's a Flame Burst, okay. This creates a form of inevitability, which is not bad. Oof, I don't know. Going to Fairy. Doesn't represent lethal again, you know, 4 attack. Bit awkward if I do get the turn into the Elderwood. See if my opponent has an answer to this one. And then the next one I can play a Fairy and draw. I'm just kind of waiting on I'm just waiting on the flowers right now. Brigand alone is not going to be able to do much. It very much depends if Brigand gets to get some assistance, you know, being able to play like a mountain here and like a Groundshaker. That would be really strong. I'd have to deal with that. I do have a bit of healing with Soul Drain, but I can Fairy Elderwood next turn. That's for the gift. Okay. Is that Grimguard? Brigand. Okay. Doesn't turn. Why do you hate me, game? Hey, here we go. And there we have it. We finally find lethal. Good game to my opponent, though. My opponent really held on there. Able to find answers and just like keeping the game. Eventually walked that Brigand down, which I liked because my opponent just recognized that I can't just sit here double collecting forever. I actually need to do something. And Brigand double collects from just hitting face. And eventually the Brigand did get down there. Unfortunately, didn't have the answer for this Fairy. I did get away with it, and obviously the inevitability of these two Crystal Flowers on the side popping out. But good game to my opponent. I think he played that very well, holding me off. Let's get into another match. Alright guys, another match. I'm pretty happy with this hand, to be honest. Starts off yellow. I get both a Sunsilk Fairy and an Emissary that I can play down on turn 2. And I can split them up, so the Emissary can like come here, and then the Sunsilk Fairy can come here. They can collect from each side. And it's another mountain. Oh dear, okay. Red is just crazy popular right now. Everyone is loving the red buff to the Herald. The Groundshaker nerf doesn't really affect mono red that much, apart from the fact that you just can't play Groundshaker on 2 now. No Cypher's Wrath. We saw double neutral coming from our opponent. I don't know. I guess I could try and turn. It's a tough one because I'm thinking, do I go for forests and then build towards this? Do I just draw and go for the... well, I've moved now, so I can't draw. Do I just build another desert? I feel like I build a forest, actually, because this gives me a bit of flexibility with my follow-up play. So if I draw a power-up, I can forest into power-up on this guy or on this fairy, and then I can do whatever I need to do. I have desert as an option, so I can flash wind. I can become mobile if I need to. Cypher's Wrath Flame Burst? No, okay. Oh, yep, this is Cypher's, okay. So it just merges everything. This is looking like Red Rush that decided to go down the side. Nice Choking Sands there. Ooh, Choking Sands is great value on a Queen's Guard. It's a 2 Fairy advantage for the player using the Choking Sands, which is me. So I'm good. I'm happy with that. Axe Grinder's pretty clean here. Just goes for the Cypher's Wrath. And this is what I was talking about. This is why I haven't been playing on ladder with this deck, because it's so much red and it's just so difficult for me to keep anything on board. It's kind of frustrating. I'll stick this in here. Just to play around Bomb Slinger. So now Bomb Slinger can't take this out from this position. And this is durable. This is going to keep us. It's going to keep us on board for a little bit at least. I do have the Flash Wind. It doesn't block my collection. All right, let's get drawing. That's pretty good. I'm going to move this up with the Flash Wind. Now I play into Bomb Slinger if I do this. But you know what? I'm going to force my opponent to have it. Can't Bomb Slinger and answer this, and this is 7 damage to the orb next turn. And the Emissary just gives me some good defensive lines. Horsemaster, not going to be enough. I have a Soul Drain. Feels good, guys. Alright, I can just take some draws. Start building resources. Oh my goodness, that should just be game. I don't see how I lose from this position. Gonna need Cypher's Wrath Flame Burst to deal with this, but we've already seen damage from hand being used in the early game to manage my board. Now a 9/5 Manta Rider. How annoying is this card? It's a 9/5, and then when it dies, it makes a 2/2. Yeah, I feel it's just game. Yeah, feels good, guys. Another Manta Rider, fantastic. 2 life remaining. Crystal Flower, where are you? Grimguard. No, it is Crystal Flower. That was just a joke. I didn't even mean that. What are you doing? This is fine. This is fine. I have the Nightmare. I'm gonna go for the Fairy. +1. Let's just hit this with the Emperor's Command. I'm so glad I have Emperor's Command in this deck now, because the amount of Crystal Flower I've seen just being able to chip it down early once I've powered up a creature, it's going to be very beneficial. But there we have it, another victory on the board. This deck doesn't do that bad against red, but there are just draws that red get that this deck can't handle. I was just very fortunate to have the Manta Rider with the power-up to clear out that Herald, and then there was no Groundshaker follow-up to finish off my Manta Rider. But looking good so far. 3 wins on the board. Let's get into our next match. Alright, we are kicking off another game. I have a Choking Sands, I have yellow cards, I'm living the dream. I feel like just keep this. I'll just keep this. I have 2 removal options and a creature, be it a weak one. But we'll see what our opponent is playing. If our opponent's not playing red or yellow, we're going to be in a good position to keep this Sunsilk Faeria alive. Unless it's Empress Command. We have seen some Empress Command today. And it's a mountain. Okay, lots of red. Looks like I can't escape red at the moment. I just have to hold it and just play against it and just see what happens. I've been red twice today, so I'll take it. If I lose any more games, if I lose any games to red, I've already beaten red twice. You know, that's I'm a champion in my own eyes. All right, so this guy is gonna get choked. You are done, Brigand, and I am going to play a Fairy and hope there is no Groundshaker. A free mountain Groundshaker. Double neutral, that's good. Cypher's Wrath, okay, that's 2 for 2. 2 Fairy for 2 Fairy, card for card, I'll take it. Fantastic. Okay, so this does allow us... Might actually just stick this double collection now. I was considering playing it here as just, you know, as a defensive option, but an early double collection's fine, I think. So, Brigand, Flame Burst. Oh, Gift of Steel. I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you very much. Let's take the draw. And goodbye. What's this all about? Why have I got triple Soul Drain? 6 Faeria, deal 6 damage, lose 3 cards from my hand. There's going to be a Grimguard. These combat decks are really going in right now. Come on, game. Give me... Oh my goodness, what is this? If this gets Gift of Steel, I'm not going to be able to deal with it. Why not? Right, why not? 3 cards to kill 1 card. It was like a super expensive Last Nightmare. Give me a Manta Rider. Be good to me. Just give me that Manta Rider. 5 mountains! Oh my goodness. Ah, the Flame Burst does come down. Feels bad, guys. Yeah. Rebel Slinger? The aggro Rebel Slinger? Come on, what's this, another mountain? What are you building towards, a meteor? Oh, no, 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 no. I refuse. Oh, come on. This is a problem. This is actually just a fundamental issue with the event strategy. Because, like, event cards are generally support cards, and event-themed decks will obviously go for these, play these support cards because of the synergy they provide. But yeah, it's kind of dire. I have healing. I have healing, I guess. I don't know. Maybe the triple Soul Drain was a bit too much. But like I said, if a Gift of Steel came down, how did I ever deal with that? More land? Another mountain? Right, that's a good Choking Sands target. Alright. Choke. This is a good position, I feel, because I can flash wind here, collect off the 2 wells, and then finish off the axe grinder. And I can slot an emissary back in double collection if I need to. I'm kind of hoping this is a dead turn for my opponent. I don't want to see another brute. Another brute would be pretty devastating. And I don't have any soul drains left, so I can't even kill this with a soul drain. But this game was lost to an unfortunate hand, and I didn't turn. Now I've turned. Okay, more healing. I'm in business, guys. I will just take the heal, if only just to not play into a firestorm. Because if I was to play the emissary down as well, I'd play into the firestorm. Bomb Slinger's very sad. Lots of creatures, lots of problems. Okay. So I went for the Elderwood Embrace there over another Emissary just to keep this alive. And again, I don't play into the Firestorm, because Firestorm's just me done. My opponent just has gas. Just a hand of gas right now. Going in, I'm finding it very difficult to stabilize at this point. So I have to hit this down. I have to take a draw, I guess, because I need to find more healing. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can survive. Rebel Slinger into the Cypher's Wrath. And there we have it. I take my first loss to kind of like a red combat burn deck. But I had a pretty terrible hand. I don't feel like it was a true representation of the deck during that match. But like I said, I've beaten red twice today. That's made me pretty happy. Let's get into our final game. Our final match. Going into this now, we have a green hand. You know what? Let's play a green hand. We've been playing a lot of yellow hands, and you generally want to do what the blue-yellow pew-pew deck does. If you have blue stuff, you know, you play towards the Disciples. If you have yellow, you play towards the Archer. But for this deck now, I've decided, let's go for the green. Let's try it out. We can set up an early Flower Silk Fairy. We can get it down here. And it's going to be another red deck. We have played against our opponent before. Yeah, I'm just doing it, guys. I don't want this to get killed. This is my win condition right now. The giant fairy. I've seen this done so many times in the past, especially King Dan's. Just King Dan's is like fairy, parrot, parrot, parrot. What are you gonna do about it? Let's turn. Ooh, let's turn. We're in the game, guys. 6/13 fairy flying towards my opponent's orb. Let's start punching. Harold is like, oh, nope, need to get back. That's a problem. This is great because it gives me breathing room to develop deserts in a more defensive position. And yeah, let's see what our opponent has. I think we might just see this get flowered. Yeah, I feel this is going to get flowered because we went for the extra mountain. No? Okay. Queen's Guard, I can kill that. Nope, it's being powered up into a cap 10. So all the defenders are down here to try and ease the pain. Oh, I really don't like this. I can command this. It leaves this on a reasonable amount of life, and then I can play the emissary behind. And I have the soul drain to finish this off. So yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, there is a crystal flower. Feels bad. Strange the crystal flower wasn't opted for before, unless my opponent did draw it. I'm gonna go for that gift of steel. Gift of steel ripped off the top, and then gonna get the gift of steel to protect it from all sorts of stuff, I would imagine. Let's get the Manta Rider down. Crack open this and get our 6/7 flyer back. Gives us a good option. We have 2 flash winds. We have a lot of ways to get around the board. I can actually just kill this as well. Nope, not anymore. It does go for the flame burst. Maybe +1 into ciphers to finish it off. Nope. Okay. Really want a nightmare draw. Nightmare would be a very nice draw. Just nightmare this, hit this down to 1. No, it's going to be a Cypher's Wrath. Okay, so full clear on the Manta Rider. Take a draw. Into another Manta Rider. Double neutral into Horsemaster. Yep, gonna be a Horsemaster. Gets to finish this off. I can actually kill this guy with a Flash Wind. I can Soul Drain this, and then I can Flash Wind around. Which is pretty good. Got another Fairy. Let's take a draw on that first, see if it turns. It does. Fantastic. Soul Drain on you. Flash Wind over here. Take the clear. And then I'm going to go for an Emissary. I was considering actually powering up that to keep it as a 4-1. But this doesn't... This is actually a bigger threat. And I can save the guidance to power up this just to make it even harder Fairy to deal with. There's a lot of Fairies that are a problem right now. Yeah, so I can take a draw. Go here. Flash Wind this across. Go for the power up. Could even do on this now. And then pass, and that's probably just going to be game. So I can beat red if I can get that Fairy early. It's kind of like the same as the blue-yellow pew-pew. If you're playing against red, like the archer line is much weaker at the start because obviously the archer is very vulnerable to removal. But if you go down like a more blue line, you can go into like Disciple and just drop loads of events to power it up and just make it a big problem for red to deal with. There we have it, trying to avoid all these red decks on the ladder, and I end up playing against them anyway. That concludes this episode of Will It Work, and it did pretty well actually. I was surprised with the results I had. Not much has changed since I got battered by red earlier in the week, but I feel that the power-ups obviously and the Flower Silk Fairies do tip that matchup in my favour. The Choking Sands are also very useful. Being able to kill Brigands before they get any Faeria value. Brutes as well. Queen's Guards, super important right now. Queen's Guard is very powerful in the current state of the game. So having those options available, also very good. And yeah, I feel the deck's pretty solid. You guys can give it a go if you want. Just try out some different things. Maybe you can find some other options that I haven't considered. And if you have any thoughts on any different versions of this deck, be sure to leave a comment below and just let me know. I'm very open to altering this deck and maybe trying it out again in the future. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. You can check out my balance patch review. We had a big balance patch recently. 34 cards were changed. Buffs and nerfs across the board. Mainly buffs, a few nerfs just to check some of the more powerful decks, but a lot of buffs. And I go through my initial review of the changes, how I feel about them, how I feel they fit in the world of Faeria. And yeah, be sure to check that out. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy my green-yellow flyers.